Hello all you tactics loving cosmonauts, as always I am Cosmic, and today we're going to be previewing All Walls Must Fall, which is a new noir tactics game brought to you by In Between Games. Now the game was kickstarted a little while back, it successfully kickstarted and it is now launched on Steam Early Access. So I thought I'd take a look because I, full disclosure, was one of the backers and I was interested in the look and the art style of the game, and so I finally got to sit down, played a couple of hours of it, and we're pretty much ready to give my thoughts on the potential as well as the product as it is right now. All Walls Must Fall is set in an alternate reality whereby the Cold War never ended, and it is now 2089. So what happens in 2089 is essentially a rogue nuclear launch sets the world into turmoil. It basically destroys the world, everyone destroys each other, and so you are a time traveling cop. You are sent back 10 hours before the nuclear launch and you are tasked with stopping it. All sounds very simple, and the way that the game works, it takes inspiration almost from several different games such as XCOM, Syndicate, also takes, bits and pieces from different genres. For example, the movement system of the game is very roguelike in essence, rather than being a traditional turn-based tactics as you would come to expect from something like this. So the way that the game works is that it combines procedural generation of maps so that you're not playing through the same map over and over, and procedurally generated objectives. So sometimes you might have to go pick up a dead drop, sometimes you might have to go and assassinate a character, sometimes you might just have to go meet a contact and then escape unharmed, all that kind of thing. And it puts them into a campaign map where you do have some missions that are going to be set, and then in terms of its core gameplay, what you end up having is a almost hybrid real-time turn-based tactical gameplay, whereby every move that you make, everyone else moves around you, very much like a roguelike. That coupled with a system whereby you have abilities to manipulate time and you have multiple weapons that you can access as you progress, it ends up being a very interesting blend. I have to say that personally and subjectively, I didn't like the turn-based combat system as it was, with the real time. I much prefer a traditional turn-based system in a game like this, especially in an isometric game. I have to say, however, it does work, and it works well, and it's interesting, and it also adds in a unique meter, which is the time meter, whereby to do any given action you have to spend points within the time meter, and the time meter slowly runs out as you progress. But to refill that time meter, doing things like successfully completing actions, successfully talking your way out of a situation, or exploring new rooms will refill that time meter. And so it's a balancing act between using your time meter wisely to do actions like kill people or to run away, and of course doing things that are going to refill that meter. In terms of its core gameplay, the gameplay is actually fairly simplistic. Once you get to grips with how the time action point system works, and you get to grips with the fact that you can do several moves, take down a couple of enemies, and then if you don't feel it went the way you wanted it to, or you die, you can rewind time and do things like that, then I think that it's actually underneath those, I would say, almost gimmicky items, it's a very simple, straightforward system that is very easy to pick up and play. I have to say that the time system does, and the various abilities that you can activate as you progress, they really do enhance the game, because you can do things like rewind time, or you can rewind time around you while you stay in the same position, or you can keep everyone as they are and just rewind yourself, which it gives you a tactical depth to the game that wouldn't be there without it. One thing that grabbed me about the game, and same grabbed me in the Kickstarter, was the art style. I think the art style is absolutely phenomenal. That noir aesthetic, the 2D aesthetic, I absolutely love the little animations within that. I love the look and the feel of the game. I think there's a really interesting artistic blend, and that coupled with a really killer sound soundtrack just works very, very well. I have to say that the blend between the two creates a really solid and palpable atmosphere for the game. My problems with the game is the fact that on a subjective level I wasn't a biggest fan of the combat system. I would have much preferred a traditional turn-based system. I would have much preferred less of the procedural generation, because I found that within the early access build itself it ended up producing a lot of the same type of environments, which was a little bit boring. I would have much preferred a much more varied system, which I hope they will put in by the end of early access. And I think my only other gripe is that as it currently stands, for me it's not worth investing my time in as of yet, because I want to see the rest of the game. I want to see, for me, the most compelling part of this game is the aesthetic and the story. And the story, for me, is what really grabs you into this universe, into this, futuristic Cold War universe, imminent nuclear death, and what's going to happen within that. And I think that the game needs a lot more story and a lot more, I wouldn't mind more linear moments for me. I think that while procedural generation is certainly nice for side missions and such like, I think that for me it's really important to really nail down a strong storyline and strong story moments within the gameplay itself to allow you to really engross yourself into a title like this. As it currently stands, I think that if you enjoy this type of game, or if you're really interested in it, it's $15. It might be worth picking up in early access just to see what it's about, and then wait until you actually get the full release with the full content. If you're not too big on unfinished games, certainly worth waiting for launch. However, I think that there's much potential here to really give you a game that has a fantastic art style, a fantastic soundtrack, some good core gameplay, some nice ideas, and potentially a really good storyline at the end. As it currently stands, I think I'm pretty happy with the product thus far. It's all thumbs up from me. I think it looks great, it sounds great, it plays great for the most part, even though it's not my personal preference of the gameplay style. And I think that it could potentially be a really solid title come full launch, but we'll have to wait and see. And that is my preview of All Was Must Fall. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and as always, I will see you next time.